This is We the People News, not attorney, nor claim to be. Anything I say or do may just be opinions and opinions only. I never look straight forward, always look around, be able to protect myself by any means necessary. So I'm always in the process of learning. This is a learning video, alright? And it happens to be one of my favorites, Chris Ann Hall. Even though I don't agree with everything she does, I agree with a lot of what she teaches. Okay? So, this is about the new tax law that may pass and highly likely to pass. But what are we getting ourselves into if they do?
From William Hall of the William Hall Show. William Hall Show. There you go. William Hall of the William Hall Show. Right there. That is awesome. I think that's typical. So the last story today, JC, is this one. Before we go. We've kind of been talking about this, but in the new infrastructure bill, the IRS is going to be monitoring, and the fact checkers, I don't know if you can see this, the fact checkers came in and fact checks this missing context. I'm going to show you what this is. They think they're making it better, right? So, American citizens, the IRS is going to be tracking the movement of your money in your accounts, of everything that is larger than $599. So movement in your bank accounts of sums larger than $599, if this particular piece of the infrastructure bill gets passed, now you're going to be subject, your bank is going to be strong-armed by the IRS to track this. Now, the fact checkers, JC, come along and say this. What's interesting is what the fact checkers say is actually not even better. It doesn't even do it. Right? The fact checkers are supposed to dispute something and make you feel better about it. They don't actually make you feel better about it. So here it is. The Treasury Department's explanation of the fiscal year 2022 revenue proposal. This proposal would create a comprehensive financial account information reporting regime. Financial institutions would report data on financial accounts in an information return. The annual return will report gross inflows and outflows with a breakdown for physical cash transactions within a foreign account and transfers to and from another account with the same owner. This requirement would apply to all business and personal accounts from financial institutions, including bank, loan, investment accounts, with the exception of accounts below a low de minimis flow threshold of $600 or fair market value of $600. So I don't know. I think they just tried to make the words more flowery and make you feel better about it. But they say it's to improve income tax compliance because you're talking about billions of dollars. Here's the other fact checker on this. That we're talking about billions, they say, of unreported income, unaccounted for by the IRS, that the federal government is owed. So you're stealing from the federal government, they say, or people are stealing from the federal government, they say, because...
Okay, let's catch that part right there. People are stealing from the federal government. Alright. Again, this income tax thing started off being a war tax. And to this day, it actually is called a war tax. They changed the name so it wouldn't be so scary. And Uncle Sam out there was preaching how we should help our country and our soldiers and and all that. And this is where we gave them consent to have what we call today income tax, which goes back into what I talked about a few times in my other videos. I think we're still under martial law, the Rule 3, right? Which is, it's not called Rule 3, but it's the third one down, right? It's the minimum, but it can stay forever if nobody ever challenges it. Okay? Due to Lincoln and all the other presidents between here and now, it's never ended the Civil War or World War One. Okay? Never been signed off, and no treaty has ever been completed. Okay? So this has actually been a war tax the whole entire time. Now, the thing we got to catch on this, right? Nowadays, are we volunteering in it, or are they threatening us with the threat of arms and imprisonment? So we are no longer volunteering in it. They're using threats of violence upon us. They are causing harm to us. So they're getting mad because, well, you're stealing your money that the government stole from you. Well, robbed you. They didn't steal it, they robbed you with threat of violence, threat of harm against you and your family.
So now we have to track all the flow of your money up anything greater than $599. But this is really just a plan, I think, to, number one, stop the small banks from actually having banks because of the money that it's going to take to make them compliant, right? So they're going to have to hire more people. They're going to have to keep up with more paperwork. They're going to have to watch the counts more closely. And the small banks are not going to be able to keep up with the financial burden, with the paperwork burden of all of this. Not to mention, I have to wonder, JC, is this just this all over again? Let me put this over here so we can see this. Right? This is where my dot connecting brain goes. I don't know how many people remember this. Under the executive order of the president, on or before May 1st, 1933, all gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates now owned by them to a Federal Reserve. They're required to deliver all of that to a Federal Reserve bank, branch, or agency to any member bank of the Federal Reserve System. So what you have, and this is just me connecting dots.
Stop right there. Now, a couple of videos ago and all that, I kind of brought some of the history up on that. Now remember, 1933, we actually filed bankruptcy. Right? Now, executive orders does not attend to the people. It only attends to the employee of the government. But because we're lost in all these spider webs and not fully understanding the history, and some of it they've been well kept secret of, has mislead us into such things that really, constitutionally speaking, have no authority of. Which goes back into, I'm a firm believer we're still in martial law. Because if they think that they can boss you around by executive order, then that would be military saying, that they had this authority, because the president has no authority over us. So if the president's saying that they're going to sign an executive order against us when he has no authority over us, then that would be martial law, y'all. Could be wrong. It's my opinion. So YouTube, don't boot me off. Okay? But we did file bankruptcy in 1933. And all the gold and silver was taken. And, well, we'll listen to some more.
Is you have this system now being set up where they're going to come take your cash. Because then you cannot engage in commerce outside of their knowledge. This is another step to push everybody to digital funding. Because in 1933, the justification for seizing all that gold was that the federal government claimed that they were in difficult times because people were hoarding gold, stalling the economy. And so
they was holding gold because they did not trust the bank or the government. I wonder why, people. I wonder why. Seems to me the people back then with less technology is smarter than the people are today with technology.
Use this term stalling the economy as an excuse to justify the federal government using the Commerce Clause to come take your money. So now they're going to come take your paper money.
Federal
so you
notes.
Can't engage in commerce without their knowledge. And everybody's got to do digital. So now you have to have some kind of passport to engage. First, well, everything's tracked, but you're going to have some kind of passport in order to access your digital. Then if you take China as the example, they'll cut off your access to your digital if you're not in the right social category. If you're not doing what the government wants you to do, right? So, if this...
I don't really mean to bring up religion thing in here, but it seems to me that you won't be able to buy or sell without the mark. That's weird.
What exactly does the federal government... I don't know. $600. This is where we've come when we've allowed the federal government to use this Commerce Clause as a catch-all. We're going to do everything and invade every part of your life. So what's the solution? State banks and private banks that do not submit to FDIC authority. That's going to have to be the solution. And then, JC, you said bartering.
Just barter. They want to outlaw what you just described. So
yeah,
I don't know if that's the solution, because
right.
You now have a nominee who says that very thing that you just said about private banks. She wants to make illegal.
Right. Well,
so you're going to be driven to barter again. They want you out. They want you out there in the wilderness in hopes you starve.
Starving you into submission.
It's all the same.
Starving you into having a commerce passport of some sort. Starving you into
the beast system.
The beast system, the submission, the slavish submission to every demand and every control of government. That's what they want. So you got to start your parallel system now while you got a chance. You can do it on your own terms with a little bit of time, because otherwise you're going to be Roger Williams out in the wilderness trying to figure out how you're going to start your own colony so you don't starve to death.
Go plant your fall garden.
Well, thank you guys for joining us today. If you like this, don't forget to like and share. I didn't put up the like and share little reminder this term, but during today's show. But remember to like and share. Go do that now before you forget. And then not only that, make sure that you leave comments. If you like today's show, go ahead and leave the comment below if you're watching now or watching later. And when you comment and interact, it actually pushes us into the algorithm. And the more you share, the more that you comment, the more people will see this show. Tell us what you liked about the show, specifically what was your favorite part. And others will be inspired to watch as well. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you again next time.
All right, so it is Chris and Hall, y'all. She gives rundowns of the Constitution, and she was actually a prosecutor, got fired for teaching the Constitution from being a prosecutor. Let me get this straight, y'all. She got fired for teaching the true Constitution from being a prosecutor. Huh. Does that mean these lawyers are actually not going by the true Constitution? How can that be, y'all? If you have all these constitutional rights, wink, 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 shouldn't these attorneys be using the Constitution to actually uphold your rights? How about these attorneys that's supposed to represent you? Wonder how this is possible. Well, they may not be following the Constitution is why I'm seeing it. Alright, this will be the People News. Bye, y'all.